fishing trip. Tonight's going to feel a little bit like worship service, a little bit like a sermon, but more like a group project. And you're like, I hate group projects. Why did I come tonight? I get it. But unfortunately, Jesus loves a group project, is what I have found. He's like, I'm going to send you out 2 by 2. Peter, James, and John come along, and then he's like, 12 of you love each other or hate each other. You're going to be in a group project together. So tonight, we're going to do something very similar to that. So I want you to look around, make some eye contact with people, and I want you to say, guess what? We're fishing buddies. It's not going fishing. Y'all sound good. That's okay. It's important to be friends. So, this whole series that we're doing, it's only a 2-week quick series, but it's rooted in me going to my brother, and I showed a bunch of clips last week of me fishing with my brother, and I asked him simple questions like, why do you think Jesus would have chosen you, a fisherman, over me, a theologian? And Garrett didn't really know, because he's not a theologian, but he told me a lot about fishing. And he was like, because we're patient, and we don't overthink things, and we just go after the fish. And you have to plan for like 6 weeks, and you have to like just wait for the right moment before you even get in the boat. We just go out on the water and we're going to find some fish. And I'm like, that's pretty good. I could use that in my own life as I'm reaching out to new people. Because the reality is that Jesus does give us a beautiful commandment at the end of the Gospels to go into the world and make disciples of all nations. To make disciples. That's what we're called to do. And the first thing that he said to those early fishermen was, I'm going to make you fish for people. A lot of times, we think of the church, or Wesley, as a big old boat that the fish are just going to fly into. If we just build enough of a boat, they're going to love this place. If we make it look enough like the lake, they're going to really love this place. Boy, we see that a lot, right? A lot of churches look like the rest of the world, and it's like, where does church begin and the world end? But we have all of these ideas. So one of the things that Garrett said to me, we sat, and I clipped this one out. We're not going to show this particular one. But he had his tackle box. This one is empty, but he pulled out all kinds of bait. And I mean, we're talking like lures and tackle and all that stuff. He was like, this here's a spinner bait. And I'm like, well, what kind of fish do you catch with that? And I don't remember. But he was like, and so I said, why is that important? And he said, see how it spins like this? Super flashy. They love flashy things. Then he would show this other one. I think he called it like a jig or something like that. Anyway, he was like, look at this one. And he would dangle it, and he was like, see, if you're a fish, this is catching your eye. Boom, boom. Oh, look, it's like shiny little keys, right? And it's like, hey, look at this, right here, right here. So I was like, okay. Do you ever use live bait? I asked him. And I actually have the video of his answer. You will show this one. Yeah. Oh, Dawson's going to help. Yeah. There it is. Here, start it over. Yeah. Go on back. Technical difficulties. Here we go. Do you ever use bait fish for bait? No. Okay, so you want the challenge. Okay, but if you really wanted that's not very fun. You're definitely going to catch fish. I like the challenge. I'm like, what? I thought catching fish was the goal. It's like, no, it's the way you catch the fish, you cheater. Like anybody can catch with live bait. But I'm thinking about all of my deep theology, right? I spent more money than sense on degrees. And it's like, when it comes to sharing your faith, the number one thing that is important is not the flashy lures. It's not the big events. Look at our lights. Look at our beautiful projector that definitely looks very professional here as you can trip over the cables. Look at all the beautiful things that we have. Bring people in. Look at our beautiful kitchen. It's just been renovated. Oh my gosh. I love it. You love it. But we go over to the rest of the campus, we're like, come and see my kitchen. That's like the worst invitation ever. We can say, we have bricks over here, they mean something to us. We have lights over here, that means something to us. And they're like, it looks like stuff. I don't really know. Why is there a door in the corner? All of the things that we really invest in. And I see churches do this all the time. Let's get bouncy houses. Let's put them in the front yard. People will come. If you build it, they will come. And they may come. They may drop by and leave without getting what we know they need. Because what they need is something living. They need something that's proof that the thing that they've been invited to works. And that's where you come in. To use Garrett's analogy, though I don't necessarily love the vocabulary transition, it's just a metaphor. You're the live bait. Okay, you're the one that is out there, and you're the living proof that Jesus works. And here's the thing. If Jesus hasn't worked for you, then that's the thing to focus on. If he has worked for you, then that's something that you can just be on display for. I want to share with you 1 Peter chapter 3, verse 15. One of my absolute favorite verses on this. 1 Peter 3:15 says, but in your hearts, set apart Christ as Lord. Listen to this. That's the first thing. Set in your heart Christ as Lord. And always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. But do so important, with gentleness and respect. That's the verse that I want you to memorize. Okay? When it comes to evangelism, but in your hearts, set apart Christ as Lord. And always be prepared to give an answer for the reason for the hope that you have. Anytime anyone asks, but do so with gentleness and with respect. Set apart Christ as Lord in your heart. Number 2, be ready. Because when someone asks, now that brings up another question. Are you so alive for Christ that it beckons people's questions? How are you dealing with this? How are you living in the midst of whatever it is going on? This was a constant question that people would ask me during COVID, during the pandemic. Christians, non-Christians alike, they would be like, how are you making it? You seem to be living your best life, and you're not even making bread like the rest of us. It's like, well, I did leave my God, first of all, even though I can't go to my church. Those are the kind of things. That's one example, but I wonder what your answer would be. I wonder what your answer would be. Last week, and Meredith, there's a slide in the slide deck there that has Maslow's hierarchy of needs. And so, if you can swap back over, yeah. We ended with this last week. And what I want you to know, Garrett talked last week a lot about how fish think. Like, where are they going to be during certain times of the day? What are they doing? And how can we kind of, like, figure that out? Well, in the same way of thinking like a fish to catch fish, we have to think like people to think about how we are reaching them. last week we ended with the hierarchy of needs because this is what people want. Now, are there more elegant models? Absolutely there are. This is a simplistic one, and we can go as deep as we would like into it. But what I'd love for us to think about is, where does all of this lie in what we do at Wesley? Our mission is to have a place for all people to discover their God-given identity so that they will fulfill a God-ordained purpose. If you just take our mission statement, all people, identity, purpose, where does that begin on these five? It begins with the all people, right? With love and belonging. Now, we do some things that kind of add to it. We've got safety needs, door codes, locks on the doors. We've got some basic sort of parameters here, so this is a safe place. We have rules for engagement with one another and stuff, like be nice and don't be weird, and all that kind of stuff. We have physiological needs. Most of the time we have heating and air, and other times we don't, but that's okay. We work on it. We have blankets at least. We provide food. We have a cooking team, a table team that tries to do these things. But here's some of the reality of this. When people are thinking about a campus ministry, the first thing they're thinking about is not the food, right? And usually not. Sometimes it's like, especially during week of welcome, if I play my cards right, I can go to the Methodists on Monday, the Baptists on Tuesday, and I can get a free meal every day of the week. But the majority of people on this campus have some kind of meal plan. And so their meals are pretty much taken care of, meaning there's a especially freshmen, physiological needs. That's not really a big deal, because Bama takes care of people. And they say, okay, here's where you're going to live, here's where it's safe, here is canes, here is a campus police, and there's little blue lights in case you need them. They've got physiological needs and safety needs, and then they're like, go to get on board day, love and belonging. And that's where people come to meet us. And then what do we say? Do you need food? That's what a lot of churches say, right? I want you to know, people don't come to Wesley just for the food. They come for what happens around the food. They come for the community around the table. Food is an important part, but it's not the main attraction. The main attraction is you. The main attraction is the community that God has blessed to lead people back to God. And you realize that some people on this campus, more than not, will come here because of you before they come here because of God. And that may be jarring to some people, because we want everybody to come here for the Lord. They come here because they see something in you that is friendship or something beyond themselves. You have something. Spirit has done something in you that they also want. And what does that lead to? It leads to identity, esteem, purpose, self-actualization. Do you see what we're trying to do here? When we as a campus ministry act in these ways, the whole campus can benefit. So we exist not to bless ourselves, but we exist as a blessing for every student on this campus. Therefore, when other groups may discard or dismiss others, we spend a lot of time praying for the Greek system tonight, praying for fraternities and sororities. So why do we do that? Well, we've got a couple of people that are a part of the Greek system. We do that because we want to watch people on the wall, praying for every corner of this campus, because on our watch, this is our responsibility. Come to make you fishers of men, people. So that's what we're doing. My brother had one final piece of advice, and I want to show this video.
Fishermen that, as far as new fishermen that, what does that mean?
First fish we've seen in this entire series.
That works.
It's a little one. However, we stop right there. One of the things that I love about that particular scene is that I'm just asking them why don't a lot of people catch fish like me? And that's basically what I'm saying. I don't catch a lot of fish. It's like you're trying to move too fast. He's like, we've been at this dock for a while. So I was just asking him, and then I started filming him. Like, what are you doing? He said, I am flipping every post. He said, on this dock, we know, because we know fish, that they love to shade this time of day. We know that on these posts, there's algae and smaller fish live like right there inside the little crooks of this post. He's like, I'm just going to flip every single post. And he flipped one, and nothing happened. And so I reeled it in, flipped the next one, and so I'm filming him, and you notice it was cut, is because we kept flipping those down posts. When you know it, eventually found one. In the heat of the day, when it wasn't morning anymore, when morning was like he was reeling them in like crazy. What is the dock for you? Meaning, what is the place on campus that you quickly gave up on? And what does it mean for you to flip every single post? Maybe you have a real heart for the people in your major, but you said, oh, these people, they're so scientifically minded, they're not faith people. I've given up. But you know what? They have a need for a Savior. And there are things about their Maker that they need. Don't stop flipping those posts. Maybe for you it is the Greek community. Maybe it's like I've got a heart and a burden for them. And everybody else has given up on them. They've moved to other docks, that this is my dock, and I'm going to flip every single post. I don't know what it is for you. Sports teams, intramurals, club teams, whatever it is. Don't give up on that dock, but keep flipping the post. Well, that one didn't work. Let me try the next one. Let me try the next angle. Let me try the next angle. And as you're around that proximity, you, the live bait, you are going to be in those spots. And you're going to be asked questions. There's 3 questions that we have to be able to answer about. And this is where I want you to look at your fishing buddies, and I'm going to give you some chance to kind of talk about that. 3 questions that if we're ever going to reach people, we got to be crystal clear on this. Number 1, why do people need Jesus? I'm going to give you a couple minutes to discuss. All right. Give me some quick answers. Why do people need Jesus?
To be saved.
To be saved. Good. Salvation. What else? What else?
Purpose.
Purpose. Good. What else? Comfort. What else?
Morality.
Morality. Good. Lots of different answers, and there's probably a dozen more. Ultimately, we need Jesus because, like I said in my prayer, we are restless until we find our rest in Him. He is our salvation. He is our strength. He is the one that raises our lives from the dead. He gives us purpose. He gives us mission. You can get some of these things outside of it, but the purest, truest form, we believe as Christians, comes through Jesus. That's number 1. Question number 2. Why do people need the church? Why do people need the church? Oh, they're biting. Number 2. Why do people need the church? You got 2 minutes. Go for it. All right. Why do people need the church? Rapid fire.
Family.
Family. Good. What else?
Support.
Support. Good.
Sense of direction.
Sense of direction. Okay, good.
Accountability.
Accountability. Did 2 of you say that? Wow. Okay, accountability. What else?
Protection of the gospel.
Protection of the gospel. Interesting. Good.
Mission groups.
Mission groups. Good. What else?
Courage.
So what? Courage. Correction. See, also courage, but also correction. Thank you, blessing. One more. What do we need it for? What? Music. We need it for music. Absolutely. I'm not doing that tangent. Okay. So yeah, we need a church for a lot of reasons. We need it for fellowship. We need it for discipleship. We need it for missions. We need it because the church is the vehicle through which the very gates of hell shut. Jesus said to Peter, he said, on you, on this rock, I will build my church, and the gates of hell will not stand against it. Which means, not that the armies of hell are assaulting against the church and our gates are holding them at bay, but it's quite the opposite. That it's the gates of hell that are on the defensive against the mission and power of the church. And if you understood the other thing, you're like me when I was growing up. Because I was like, we are safe and sound here in this church. And hell is all around us. No, that's not the way that Jesus described it. He was like, they should be scared of us. Third question. Why do people need this church? I want you to think deeply about that. Because there's a lot of options in this town. Why does this one exist? Why do people need this church? Wesley, go for it. Okay, why do people need this church? Why do people need Wesley? Rapid fire.
We're awesome.
We're awesome. That's good. What else?
Homie.
What? Authentic?
Homie.
That's great. Homie.
Homie, that's why.
Not in February. Okay, yeah, let's go. Involvement. Okay. Acceptance.
Wait.
Peace in the chaos. Great. Yeah.
Self-actualization.
Self-actualization. Okay, so here's the question. You could get a lot of these things, maybe not wait, at a lot of other places. So why do people need Wesley? Let me tell you, like, that's probably the thing that is subtle. But here's what I answered that question as. People need Wesley. Because Wesley is the middle or the marriage, in some ways, of evangelical passion and enlightenment, deep critical thinking. It's the head and the heart that come together here. Some churches are really good at one, and some churches are really good at the other, but I feel like we do a good job of bringing those things together. This is a place where I hope that non- and nominally religious people can become deeply committed Christians. And it's a place where deeply committed Christians can find purpose to reach non- and nominally religious people. I want this place to be known for the people in whose lives it changes, for the breakthroughs, for the deconstruction into reconstruction for people's faith, people that were on the absolute brink of walking away from Jesus. They come here and they say, I don't have to. They're able to make sense of the Bible. They're able to have deep accountability with one another. They're able to find a community and a sense of loneliness, but not one that's fake and all smiles and smoke machines. It's one that is completely and totally authentic, where you don't have to check your brain at the door, but your heart is fully engaged as well. I feel like that's something that Methodism and Wesley has always done really well as being a place for your everyday, non-nominal religious person. The way that you answer that question is going to matter to the people that you reach. That's what we're trying to set out. We're going to close in a prayer and then a song. And during this song, I want you to think about these three questions. Why do people need Jesus? Why do people need the church? And why do people need this church? And answer it for yourselves. And when you answer that, here's what I know for sure. In your heart, you will accept Lord Jesus as Lord. And if someone were to ask you for the reason for the hope that you have, you will be able to give them an answer, and you will be able to do it, not with condemnation or correction, because there's a lot of that going around. I'm right, you're wrong. But you do it with gentleness and respect. And then, you really will fish for people. Let's pray. God, you have called us, and we're trying to be better at this great calling which you've invited us into. So please, put people on our minds now. Give us 5 people right now that you might place on our hearts. People in our classes, maybe in our families, friendships. 5 people that need a place to meet with you. And give us courage. Give us courage to invite 5. Give us courage to invest in 3. Give us courage to deeply pursue 1 for you. And give us perseverance